saying when. You keep saying keep it a buck. I'm saying when. Now you saying one thing and your dad saying another. So when?
What you mean?
You saying one thing and your dad saying another thing. So what is what?
I've been asking for that fight since 2018. What are you talking about?
You been asking to fight me since 2018.
All the top guys.
Cut it. You believe that? You a fool. You believe that? You a fool. He's drunk. He's sleepy.
So what I do, YouTube? It's your boy KD in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go on ahead, hit the like button. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on the channel, man. Y'all know what time it is, bro. Yeah. So yeah, bro. Y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Is Jaron Ennis ducking Blair Cobbs? Right? Serious question, bro. Like I really want to know. Is Jaron Ennis ducking Blair Cobbs? You know what I mean? I want to know. And this question really goes to you Earl Spence / Jaron Ennis boost babblers, right? You dudes that, well, and you fence straddling niggas too, right? This question really goes to you dudes. I want to know whether or not Jaron Ennis is ducking Blair Cobbs, right? You know. And the reason I direct that question to you niggas is because a lot of you niggas feel like, for whatever reason, Bud Crawford is ducking Jaron Ennis, right? Even though Jaron Ennis on 2 different occasions had an opportunity to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, even though Bud Crawford has already offered Jaron Ennis a fight in the past, and he turned down the fight because he wanted to be loyal to Showtime, a platform in which he's no longer even affiliated with, right? Even so, you niggas feel like Bud Crawford is ducking Jaron Ennis. So this question, you know, it goes to you, right? I want to know your thoughts on whether or not you feel like Jaron Ennis is ducking Blair Cobbs, you know, right? Because when niggas turn around and they tell you that Bud Crawford really has no reason to fight at Jaron Ennis, like there's really nothing in it for him, y'all don't buy that, right? That don't make sense to y'all. 2 + 2 doesn't really make 4 to you niggas, right? You know, you niggas feel like that's an excuse, and you feel like KD and Bud Crawford and guys who feel this way are making shit up. So if that's the case, then certainly you should feel like Jaron Ennis is ducking Blair Cobbs, because Blair Cobbs actually called out Jaron Ennis 2 years ago, went up to his face, pulled up on him. Don't believe me? Check it on out.
Right? Cut it out. You know I'm gonna call him the fuck out, right? Cut it out. It's level, dude. No, there is levels. It's levels. There's levels to this shit. I'm definitely calling you out. Well, we'll see. It's levels. Because, hey, I'm the only I'm the only one that fought against God, dog. I'm the only one that fought. It wasn't expected. You're another level, so. We'll see, though. We'll see though. Oh, we'll see.
We won't. You know his level.
He already
know his level.
He already knows.
Blair got to talk. He got to talk. Well, Blair, you remember what happened when you remember what happened when you spoke when he was a young boy? What happened?
Oh, when I was off?
When you jumped, you was off.
I showed up. What?
You jumped out that ring.
Really?
That's not
We can run it back. We can run it back.
Anytime.
We can run it back.
You jumped out that ring.
Anytime.
You jumped out that ring.
February 14th, let's do it.
Man, you get
February 14th, let's do it.
You ain't got nothing behind
February
you.
14th, let's do it.
We on another level though.
Oh, no.
Build yourself up.
Okay, so it's a few very important things that we got to take away from this little exchange, right? A few very important things that your boy KD got to point out about this whole thing, right? The first thing is, this little exchange happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right? That's the first thing, right? Which I already pointed out before, but I'll point it out again, right? The second thing that we're gonna have to point out is that this is Blair Cobbs going up to Jaron Ennis in his face, right? Not no tweet, you know what I'm saying? Not no Instagram message. He didn't do no Instagram live or nothing like that. He ain't do nothing like that, right? This is Blair Cobbs going directly to Jaron Ennis and his team by itself, by the way, right? Which is cold-blooded, if I do say so myself, right? By itself, by the way, pulling up on Jaron Ennis, looking for all the smoke, right? that's the second thing that we got to take away from this situation, right? The first thing is this happened 2 years ago. The second thing is that this is Blair Cobbs going up to Jaron Ennis, pulling up on him, looking for the smoke, right? Which I may add is nothing Jaron Ennis has ever done, right? He has never gone to a Bud Crawford fight, pulled up on him, calling him out. He's never done anything like that, right? Never, ever, never. His call outs are always at the end of post-fight press conferences and interviews and anything that don't have to do with being face-to-face with a Terrence Bud Crawford, right? So I just want to point that out, right? The third thing that I want to point out is that, isn't it interesting how all the little things that Boots and his entourage was saying to Blair Cobbs, you could easily make the very same arguments for Terrence Crawford and Boots Ennis. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting? Right? Isn't it interesting? A lot of the stuff that Boots said to Blair, Bud is kind of saying to Boots, right? But y'all call him a duck for it, right? So if you call him a duck for it, then you would have to call Boots a duck, right? You would have to call Boots a duck for Blair Cobbs. You would have to, right? Let's examine some of the things that they said, right? Because we got to, right? I mean, it's only fair, right? I mean, we wouldn't want to do what's not fair at the end of the day. It's only fair, right? So let's examine some of the things that were said, right? The first thing that Boots said when Blair Cobbs called him out, the first thing that he said was levels, right? levels, right? Levels. He threw out levels a lot, right? Which is very funny, because if we're talking about levels, at the time that little exchange happened, Boots wasn't even a champion. He wasn't even a champion at that particular point in time, right? He had no accolades, right? Nothing, right? He just got his belt via email maybe about 3-4 months ago, right? So he was talking about levels then, right? So if we take that whole levels, if he feels like he's levels above another contender, right? If he's making an excuse like that for another contender, right? Blair Cobbs, right? Then what would it be for somebody like a Boots Ennis versus a Terrence Crawford, somebody who's a 2-time undisputed, 3-time lineal champion, looking to be a 4-time undisputed champion? What does that discrepancy look like? If there's a discrepancy between Boots Ennis and Blair Cobbs as far as levels are concerned, and that's the reason you can't fight them, what does it look like for a Terrence Crawford and a Boots Ennis, right? I mean, if levels is a reason why you can't fight Blair, right, then it should be a pretty good reason for why Bud Crawford shouldn't want to fight you. Levels, right, Boots? Right, Boots? Right, Boots babblers? Right, Earl Spence fanboys? That should be a good reason, right? Levels. He said levels, right? Unless you want to tell me that Jaron Ennis is ducking Blair Cobbs. Unless that's what you're saying, right? I mean, we got to keep the same energy at the end of the day, right? Don't we? If you're going to tell me that Bud Crawford is ducking Jaron Ennis, right? You're a fanboy. You're that delusional to think that, right? Then we got to say that Jaron Ennis is ducking Blair Cobbs. We would have to say that, right? We have to. And Jaron Ennis never offered Blair Cobbs a fight like Bud Crawford offered Jaron Ennis, right? So it would have to be a far worse duck if you're going to call that a duck. See, me and real boxing fans, we understand that in order for a fight to happen, it has to make sense for both fighters. Both fighters got to have something to gain out of the situation. Real boxing fans understand that, right? Fighters don't fight just because it might be a good fight. They fight because they're looking to gain something, whether it's an undisputed title, whether it's a whole bag of money, whether it's a big old accolade or a notch on their resume. These are things that Bud Crawford isn't able to gain by fighting a Jaron Boots Ennis. And it also happens to be the same way when it comes to Jaron Ennis and Blair Cobbs. Right? But y'all not going to feel that same way about Blair Cobbs, like how y'all feel about Jaron Ennis, right? Are we going to keep the same energy or not, is what I'm trying to figure out. And during that exchange, they made a few other points that I thought was really interesting, right? They said something along the lines of, you trying to use my name to get up there. He made a few references as if Blair Cobbs was clout chasing off his name, right? He made, which is very interesting because, I feel like the very same argument could be used for Jaron Ennis towards a Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Jaron Ennis also said he don't really want to fight, right? He just trying to use his name, blase, squaze, y'all just make it. Well, the very same argument could be used for you and a Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And it's even more flagrant in your case because you had two opportunities to actually fight a Terrence Bud Crawford, right? One, by ducking and dodging up out the goddamn WBO rankings to go to the IBF. And two, by turning down the fight to be loyal to Showtime, right? When Blair Cobbs has never had an opportunity to fight you. And as far as the world is concerned, he's sincere about his desire to get in the ring with a Jaron Boots Ennis, right? And let's not even discuss the fact that Blair Cobbs is at very least in the same weight division at 147 pounds, while Boots and Bud are in two different weight divisions, right? Let's not even talk about that. And furthermore, let's not even talk about the fact that Boots' team are more focused as their number one priority to collect all the belts at 147 before moving up to 154. Ain't that right, Bozy and Eddie Hearn?
The number one priority is to unify the division, right? Because he's going to move to 54 at some point. But you don't really want to go before you've taken care of business. So
right now, we ain't worrying about Crawford. We're going to clean 147 now, and then we're going to move to 154. If he's there and he got a belt, we coming after him. Simple as that.
They also told Blair to build himself up, right? That's what they said. Build yourself up towards the end of that clip, right? But isn't that something Jaron Ennis should be trying to do right now, rather than talking about fighting a Terrence Bud Crawford, a dude that already moved up to 154, and then already the belt that you walking around with is really his belt because they took it off him after 2 months of winning the belt, right? But you're telling Blair to build himself up, but isn't that what you should be doing right now? Like, I mean, it's crazy how we can use a lot of the same arguments that Jaron Ennis is using for Blair Cobbs right back on Jaron Ennis when it comes to Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Isn't it just funny how we can do that shit? I mean, it's hilarious to me. But I know what the fanboys want to say. But KD, that was so long ago. Blair Cobbs isn't looking to fight Boots Ennis now that he's seen him beat Evanesian. Right? That's not what you niggas saw, right? So if that's the case, what about this?
Jaron Ennis, from that point, would want to fight you now after the Broner fight?
No. I think the last thing he would want to do is fight Blair or Flair. I'm still the most revered fighter, the most unpredictable, and probably a person that should probably stay away from. And that's just what it is. The best thing for him to do is to stay away from me. If he fought me next, he'll lose.
In case any of you were wondering, that interview was done 7 days ago. Check it out on either Fight Hub TV or Fight Hype. I'm not sure which one it came from, but check it on now. That was 7 days ago, right? So with that said, it's pretty clear that Blair Cobbs is calling out Jaron Ennis 2 years later, right? From the date that he originally called him out. So again, I posed the question to the fanboys out there and the Boots babblers, and, you know, the Eurosexuals who disguise themselves as Boots fans. I posed the question: is Jaron Ennis ducking Blair Cobbs? I mean, I personally don't think so. I get why he don't want to fight Blair Cobbs right now. I mean, what does Blair Cobbs do for his career, right? But for you people that say that Bud is ducking Jaron, I would have to say that you should probably feel that Jaron is ducking Blair Cobbs, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video right here, man. Let me know what your thoughts is, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, bro, I'ma holla at y'all, bro. Peace.
Look at this dude.
Why wouldn't I? You a smart man, but not that smart. Bro, I'm